Hello, and thank you for listening to this Ringside Report Network podcast today. You can find more in-depth, exclusive written content on our website at ringsidereport.net. Before I hand it off to Dave and the team, I want to remind you that we are a listener-supported creator team. On our website, we would appreciate it if you supported our sponsors or purchased our exclusive merch. Branded clothing, mugs, and even jiu-jitsu gear, which are available only in our store. You can become a recurring supporter of our content at membership.ringsidereport.net. This, along with all our podcasts, is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon, iHeart, and TuneIn, wherever you get your podcasts. It would help us immensely if you left a positive review on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Thank you for your support and enjoy the show.
Please welcome David Simon. Good to see you again, David. Thanks for coming back.
Ooh. It's time. We're previewing UFC 322, Makhachev versus Della Maddalena. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. MVP. We're feeling good. We're feeling like MVPs on the Ringside Report Network. We're feeling like...
Ball game over. Yankees win.
What?
Yankees win.
What? It's the offseason. Could the Yankees have won something? Yeah, Aaron Judge just won his third MVP. Salute to my captain. We love you, Captain.
Yeah, but
You're
the
the best.
The captain's got to win, bud.
Suck it, Cal
doesn't
Riley.
count.
Aaron Judge, MVP. Everybody knows he's the best. UFC 322 coming up this Saturday night. This could be the best pay-per-view.
But they can't win a World Series, Dave.
Yeah,
Let's be
I know.
honest.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm aware. No one can win the World Series except for the Dodgers, AJ. Only the Dodgers get to win World Series. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, I knew it. It
Only
stung
the
me hard
Dodgers.
enough, man.
Not the Yankees. Not the
Man,
Blue Jays.
the Blue Jays blew
only the
it.
Dodgers.
Hey, listen, Dave. Let's be honest. Let's hold on a sec.
Why lie?
How that you can do that a million times? That ball that flies into home run or bounce off the wall, but it gets stuck in the wall. Have you ever seen that before? Never.
Yes,
Like,
I
how
have.
is that possible?
I've seen it many times.
I've never.
I've
No,
seen. Well,
not
you
like
don't
that.
watch as much baseball as I do.
Still, dude, that was like, come on, man.
It
You can do
happens
that a
all the
million
time.
times. It's not going to happen. All it needed was that bounce, and the Blue Jays won the World Series.
It's a ground rule double. It's
Still,
you
man.
know, it's the ground rules.
Dude. Let's be honest.
The ground rules are established before the game between the coaches and the umpires. When you see them convene there at home plate before the game, they're not just saying, hey, have a good game. They're saying, okay, if this happens, if that happens, it's a double. If this happens, it's out of play. They're giving you the ground rules, and the ground rules are covered. If the ball gets lodged under the fence, the player's supposed to put his hand up, and play is stopped, and it's an automatic double. That's just the way baseball works sometimes,
but
AJ.
If it
it's
didn't,
not
I know, but if it
perfect.
didn't happen that way, the Blue Jays would
They
have
may
won.
have
Johnny
scored.
knows.
Well, wasn't that game 6?
Yeah, but that was it. That was the beginning of the bad luck streak. You know, the broken bat to the double, and it's all over.
They were 2 outs away in Game 7 too, AJ. Don't forget.
I know
they were
dude.
2 outs away in Game 7.
They were ahead, man. The Blue Jays, this was their year, and unfortunately, we won't see another Canadian team in the World Series for a long time.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude. It sucks. We've got no winning teams in Canada.
Well, you say that you're not going to see another Canadian team in the World Series for a very long time. You really don't know that. The Blue Jays could easily go to the World Series again next year and win. They have a very good team, and a lot of their key pieces are staying in Toronto. So I think they have a great shot of going back and maybe winning next year.
Antoinette is on. Antoinette is on, dude. Don't say anything harsh about the Blue Jays.
She's actually thanking me, saying thanks, AJ Davis. Oh, she says thanks, AJ Davis. A hater still going on. Hey, Antoinette.
Yeah, baby.
AJ's just said no Canadian team's going to go to the World Series for a very long time, and I'm saying no. The Jays may go back and win it next year because they're a very good team. Why are you hating on me? What did I do? I'm saying
She
they
knows
might
what I'm
win
talking
next
about,
year.
man. That stupid ball stuck in the
They're a
wall
great team.
ruined the Blue Jays, man.
Well, yeah, but that's part of baseball. Like, I don't think the Jays
Dude,
fans
that's
can
the part of
reasonably
bad luck,
blame
man.
the ball getting stuck for them losing the World Series. It just happens. That's baseball. It's part of the game. Like, the same rule would
blame it on
apply to the
Otani, man.
Dodgers had it been reversed. Like, it's not really, but the Jays are a really good team. They were 2 outs away from winning. They could easily go back and win next year. Why not?
Doug is like, he's saying it straight, man.
Doug
Cal should have
says,
won.
I think Cal should have won the MVP. Gloating Scooble for the Cy Young. Yeah, Scooble. Yeah, Scooble won the Cy Young. He's incredible. Skeen's incredible. Antoinette mad at me for some reason, even though I'm complimenting her team. They're a very good team. They had a great team. They're going to be
She knows who
maybe
you
better
root
next
for,
year.
bud.
Who knows? I don't know.
And Angelo, Aaron Judge won it 2 years in a row.
You
He's
can't
right, man.
please some people, I suppose. I don't know. But yeah, Aaron
what she
Judge won the
said.
MVP. And honestly, Doug, like, I kind of agree with you. I think what Cal Raleigh did as a catcher was amazing and
Johnny,
kind of more impressive than what Aaron Judge did as a right fielder, like hitting 60 home runs and catching every day. It's pretty nuts. Like, I was even like, if I would have voted, if I had a vote, I think I would have voted for Cal Raleigh too. But I'm happy that Aaron Judge won because, I love Aaron Judge. He's a great Yankee. So that's cool. But
Bro, you can't go to Sudbury.
I wouldn't say Cal Raleigh got robbed because Aaron Judge had some incredible numbers this year that you can't really, But I think Cal Raleigh had an amazing year. It's like they should have been co-MVPs. I don't
Bro,
think I
you
posted,
can't go
I
to
don't think
Sudbury.
I posted anything when the Blue Jays lost. Maybe like the game was good. I just really enjoyed the series. I thought the series was good. I didn't really care who won. I wasn't, I don't know. But Blue Jays fans, like, they will get mad at you even if you're just like, wow, that was a good game. Because they're like, no, it wasn't. They lost. It's like, yeah, but the game was good. Like, it was a World Series that went to Game 7 to the 11th inning. Like, it went extras in a Game 7. It's pretty good for sports, objectively. But if you're a fan of the Jays, I guess you can't see it that way. But I just thought the game was good. The series was good. The Jays were 2 outs away. They were close, but, things happen. The Dodgers are annoying, They just...
Damn Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm not pleased that the Dodgers won,
I blame Brooklyn.
Okay. I'm not happy for the Dodgers. I hope they don't win next year. That would suck. The Dodgers will win the World Series next year 3 times in a row, and then baseball will stop for like a whole season because they're going to be locked out in 2027. There may be no baseball in 2027. Yeah.
What they did to the Expos? Like,
Antoinette, you got your opening day tickets already? That's awesome.
What?
I didn't know
way.
tickets were on
Antoinette's
sale
a
already
trooper,
for next
man.
season. That's great. Good for you.
Antoinette doesn't fool around, man.
You should be proud of the Jays. They were amazing this year, right? Why wouldn't you be proud?
They were, man.
They were great.
It's just
they
bad
came
luck,
within.
dude. Why is it?
I mean, they came as close as you can get. I mean, they didn't win the World Series, but they kind of did. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of did. It was so
They
close
got there,
that it's
you're
like,
right.
well, after, 7 games and 9 innings of Game 7, it was completely tied. So, yeah, okay, they didn't win, but they.
But Toronto, man, you have the Maple Leafs that just can't get to the end, and the Blue Jays just can't bag it.
Yeah.
It's hard to swallow if you're a Toronto fan, man. And the Habs, I don't know. I don't know if the Habs are winning right now, but like we have a pretty good team this year. But it's still early, man.
Anyways,
Johnny will give us the breakdown. All to say is
enough of all that.
we gotta
AJ.
support
I want to get
Dagestani.
to the fights because we got
Dagestani.
big
I know
fights
where
this
you want to
weekend.
get to.
I think it's the biggest. I think it's the biggest fight weekend of the year. We're gonna be doing a watch along for this Saturday night. We're back for the watch alongs. We haven't done one since what, August?
Oof, yeah, maybe
That's so crazy.
July?
We somehow missed 2. So we're back on Saturday in full force. Fred will be with us on Saturday. He couldn't be with us tonight, but Fred will be with us Saturday. AJ will be here in studio with me, which will be great. Should I get some cannoli?
It's gonna be wild, man. What
Should I
you
get cannoli?
gotta get some snacks. Cannolis.
What do you
You want
want?
to get cannolis? I'll bring a
Cannolis is
little
always
something.
a nice touch with a little coffee. It's nice, you know?
You want me to bring some espresso? Like do like
No, I
really
can-
like Italian style?
Well, we don't need to go
We
crazy.
could go.
But I could pick
mean,
up
we
some
could do
cannolis during the
Dagestani
day
style.
from.
Bro,
Huh?
we could go Dagestani style. I'd bring a bear or something.
Well, what do you want? Snickers or cannoli?
Dude, that's hard, man.
What do you think?
But listen,
Or should we go somewhere
go with
else,
the
like
cannoli.
popcorn and pizza? What do you?
that doesn't sound so
We'll
bad
talk.
either.
We'll talk.
We'll talk.
But we're
Let's-
partying on Saturday night for sure. We're doing a watch along, and we're trying to figure out snacks. Obviously, we're trying to figure out the menu. That's the most important thing. Islam Makhachev, he's thinking about the menu too. He's not really cutting weight from what he's saying. He doesn't
doesn't
feel
need to,
like he
bud.
has to cut a lot of weight, which you could say is good. He's going to have lots of energy. He doesn't have to do the weight cut. But you could also say, well, his opponent's going to be cutting weight. And
He's a pretty big guy.
that means he's going to be bigger come fight night. Like Islam Makhachev is going to be the smaller man. If he's coming in to fight week being like, I'm fine, I don't really have to cut weight, it's nothing. Well, that means he hasn't grown into a full-fledged welterweight. There was a lot of talk about Islam getting bigger and like, oh, look, like there were pictures of Islam and it was like, look at him, he's so jacked and he's really putting on weight to go from 155 to 170. But now this week I see Islam and he's like, yeah, I took some time, I put on some weight, but I'm also really happy that I don't have to cut weight much this week. I'm comfortable. And it's like, okay. So I feel like he might
But
be a
did you
little
see-
undersized. Like that worries me a little bit about Islam Makhachev. And the
Have you
more I
seen their
look at
training
this
regimens?
fight, AJ, I'm just going to come right out and say it.
What?
I think Jack Della Maddalena is going to beat Islam on Saturday night.
What?
Yeah.
You of all people saying that?
I've
look,
been back and forth on this fight. For weeks now, just going back like day to day, like I don't know. And over the past couple of days, I've really kind of dug into it, and I really think Jack Della Maddalena is gonna win this fight, and I'm gonna tell you why. He is a legit welterweight. First of all, size. Okay? Size is going to play a factor, especially with a wrestling base. Like wrestling, the weight classes, they matter. And with Islam Makhachev and the way that he fights, I think the takedowns of Jack Della Maddalena are going to be hard to land. And once he does land them, as we've seen in the past with Jack Della Maddalena, you may be able to take him down, but you can't keep him down. He springs right back up to his feet like a kangaroo, Australian as he is. It's very hard to keep Jack Maddalena down for welterweights. This is the 155 champ moving up to 170. And he is supposed to be the one to keep Jack Della down. Now, he is an incredible fighter. Okay? I'm going to say some things about Islam Makhachev and his record here in a second, and I don't want you to mistake it for disrespect because Islam Makhachev is an amazing fighter. He's one of the greatest lightweights of all time. He may have surpassed Khabib. He may have surpassed Khabib Nurmagomedov. Islam Makhachev may be the greatest lightweight of all time.
He's up there.
He might be the best. If he's not, who is?
Khabib.
Well, that's it. It's either him or Khabib. And, I mean, Islam's got him beat in a lot of statistical categories. Title defenses, stuff like that. Like, Islam, you know, he's been a more productive, more prolific champion than Khabib ever was. Khabib defended the belt like once or twice, and he retired. Islam's defended it several times. But who is he fighting? Who is he fighting? He's 27-1. Sure. Great record on paper. Who did he beat in his last fight? Was it a top contender? Was it a tough challenge? Did it go the distance? No. He beat Renato Moicano in January of 2025. So way back in January of this year was Islam's last fight, and he went untested because it was basically a nothing fight against Renato Moicano, who stepped in on 24 hours notice after Arman Tsarukyan pulled out of the fight because of a back injury. Tsarukyan would have been a real test and would have given us a better indication of what Islam Makhachev is right now in 2025. But the Moicano fight wasn't real. So he hasn't had a real fight this year. Then you look back at what he's done recently. 2024, he fought once. Who did he beat? Dustin Poirier. Now, no disrespect to Dustin Poirier, but Islam beat a beaten Dustin Poirier. Islam beat a Dustin Poirier who was one fight away from retirement, losing to Max Holloway. Max Holloway beat Dustin Poirier by decision, pretty one-sided fight. Holloway, beat him. The fight before that, Islam Makhachev went all 5 rounds. He almost went to decision, but did manage to choke out Poirier in the 5th round. So Islam barely beat Poirier, more convincingly than Max Holloway did. And then before that, he knocked out Alex Volkanovski, who took the fight on very short notice. So that fight was kind of like, what is that? But the fight before that, he fought Alex Volkanovski, went to decision, and it was very close. And Volkanovski is a featherweight. He's a 145er. And Islam had a lot of trouble there. Keep going back. Charles Oliveira, who was kind of a transitional champion, if we're being honest. A lot of losses on his record. A lot. That continued to happen after the Islam fight. Before that, it was Bobby Green, which, I don't even have to dignify with a comment.
Bobby.
Dan Hooker, Thiago Moises, Drew Dober. I mean, you get the point here. Not world beaters. So, Islam's very good. We see him perform. He's very good. He's dominant. But who is he really fighting? It ain't Jack Della Maddalena. And over the years, these fights that have gone over these several years, right? He beat Charles Oliveira for the belt way back in 2022. We're now 3 years later. And Islam Makhachev is 3 years older. And what does that mean? That means he's 34 years old walking into the cage. You know how old Jack Della Maddalena is? 29. So Jack Della is bigger and younger. Jack Della just fought a guy very similar stylistically to Islam Makhachev. Is he as good? I would say no. I don't think Bilal Muhammad is as good as Islam at the things that Islam does. I think Islam is actually better than Bilal Muhammad in every aspect of the sport. But Bilal Muhammad is a legit 170-pound fighter. Islam is not.
Allergies.
I'm just not convinced that Islam is going to be walking through Jack Della Maddalena like he's walked through everybody else. These guys in Dagestan, the Khabib team, they're incredible. But we saw with Merab and Umar that they're not unstoppable. They can be beat. The aura is starting to fade. The MMA world has seen these guys for a long time, and I think some of them are starting to figure it out. And if anybody's going to be figuring it out, it's that camp out in Australia, because those guys have some world champions. Whatever they're doing out there, it's working. Because there are 2 countries running MMA right now, and it's Dagestan in Russia, and Australia. They are the championship countries. They have the most belts. So I think Jack Della is onto something. I think people are sleeping on Jack Della like they were when they were sleeping on him in the Bilal fight. Jack Della was the underdog in that fight too. And I also picked him to beat Bilal Muhammad. And I'm going again with Jack Della Maddalena. People are not taking him seriously for a number of reasons. He doesn't have the name. You know? He doesn't have, Khabib. He doesn't have a number of title defenses. Islam's main evented a bunch of pay-per-views. He's a big name in the sport. He's undefeated for years. He's a beast. But you know what? He also got knocked out once in the UFC. Islam got knocked out in the UFC. Jack Della might knock him out again. Jack Della lost his first 2 pro fights, and since then has won 18 in a row. So he's on a pretty good win streak himself. He beat Bilal Muhammad, Gilbert Burns, and Kevin Holland 3 fights in a row.
Yep.
29 years old, black belt in jiu-jitsu from Perth, Australia. He's ready. He's ready. I am going to go with Jack Della Maddalena in this fight. I think he's going to be able to defend the takedown, land strikes, and either win a decision or win by knockout. I don't know if he'll be able to finish Islam. It depends on Islam. Depends how aggressive Islam gets. Depends if Jack finds the right shot. I think the possibility is there, but I think, it's fighting and it's hard to predict. But if you're going to go with an overall prediction, I'm going to go with Jack Della Maddalena to win. He is right now plus 215. So that's decent value for you on a Saturday night. I like Jack Della Maddalena to beat Islam Makhachev. I think this is the most intriguing fight of the year. If you would have asked me a few days ago, I think I would have said Islam because Islam's wrestling is just unbelievable. He's unstoppable. Those guys in Dagestan have been doing it the right way their whole lives. They're bred for this. And Islam is the elite of the elite. He's the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world. Islam Makhachev can definitely win this fight. I have the utmost respect for him. He is a legend. He's a living legend right now. Future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever put on the 4-ounce gloves. But every man has his time. Do you remember when Benson Henderson was like the best lightweight in the world and he went up to 170 and fought a guy who was not the champion? And Benson Henderson had trouble. It's a big jump from 155 to 170. It's a big jump.
Yeah, but he's not a Dagestani wrestler. And that's the difference. I don't want to take away from Ben Henderson, but yeah, amazing fighter, like
yeah,
legendary
but back then
fighter,
he was kind of like the #1 guy at 155,
but
and then he went up to 170 and fought a guy that was not really that.
But he didn't have the power. He didn't have that power. Yeah, he didn't even have that power to move up. Like, it's a totally different game.
He had a wrestling base though, Ben Henderson.
Yeah, he did, but he's not Islam. He's not the Khabib power team. He's not the Dagestani Bears. He's not, and I'm going to tell you, look, I agree with you on a lot of things, but one thing for sure is, yeah, for sure, JDM, man, he's a beast. There's no doubt about it. But he's not Volkanovski. He's not as good as a wrestler as Volkanovski. And that's, pretty much factual. The thing I agree with you is that the guy's an amazing scrambler. I mean, when you get this guy on the ground, like, he can power his way back up. The only thing that worries me is that his defensive grappling, he doesn't put up a lot of resistance. And that's the difference. When you look at like guys like Bilal that took him down 3 times, I'm like, well, now we're bringing in Islam. And Islam's going up to natural weight and the guy is a beast. And I'm going to tell you, like I was saying it a bit earlier, I was looking at their training regimen. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, these guys,
Great.
are like, they're in the middle of the mountains in the middle of freaking Dagestan.
Did you see that video, the 2-3 years Dagestan video? It was great,
that was
right?
insane, man.
Oh, amazing.
That was insane.
Their training center is beautiful.
They're world
Doesn't that
class,
look fun?
probably the best. I would love to go there, but you got to go there. You're going to be mauled. But if you come out of there still alive, you'll probably be one of the best grapplers coming out, like into wherever country you walk in.
Fun. If that was like you and your boys just like hanging out,
man,
you have this complex, you're just like wrestling all day, eating good food, hanging out, playing basketball, wrestling. It seems like so much fun, man. It's just like a complex where you're just like there with your dudes, having a good time every day, doing grappling, doing fighting.
But that's the difference, and that's what I'm trying to get at, is that these guys live, breathe, and literally die for fighting. And you could see it through their training facility, their training camp, the way they train. Did you see the way they train? I mean, just leading up to this camp with Islam, I mean, you can't just walk in there. You got to be like, a lot of security and whatnot. You got Khabib there as like the number one bodyguard, but he's the number one coach. And what they do like 2 hours of power wrestling and grappling. 2 hours, man. There's a freaking lake on the mat. And you know what these guys do after 2 hours of power training? They go out and hit the gym. That is insane. And that's the level of like craziness that most people cannot match. Even some of the top like jiu-jitsu guys and wrestlers. I mean, this is a crazy level. Once they're done, they go out and pump weights. And they do all kinds of like things to be at the top of the game. And that's what makes me think of one thing. If Islam is able to basically wear down Jack Della Maddalena, which he can obviously do because they do it through all types of sizes at the bear camp, I'm looking at it and I'm like, you got a healthy Jack, but you've got a freaking hungry Islam. He's at the point in time at 34. If it was anybody else, this is their peak time in their fighting career. But if it was anybody else, I'd be like, I'm a little worried. He's hitting that 35 mark. But the difference with Islam is that he's going to leave this sport as a 2-time champion, and he's going to prove what it means to train day in, day out, and stay away from civilization for months. These guys don't see anything for months. These guys are training not just to win, to be the greatest. And they've proven that. Khabib has proven that. I mean, walking around with this hat is a symbol of fear, and that's the thing. And I all due respect to Jack, the guy is amazing. But man, coming in with this guy with, it's that wrestling, and takedown defense that worries me. Look, stand up, maybe a little edge to Jack Della Maddalena, but let's not forget like Islam's kicking, they're not too far away from the same height. So his striking game is just as good as anybody in the world. The top elite.
Not as you think it's as good as Jack Della Maddalena's?
His kicking probably. Probably better. But his like his stand up. But
overall stand up, but you got to give the edge to Jack Della.
I know, but it's the kicking, man. The kicking. I mean, if he's going to be able to drop those kicks, Jack is not, he's 1.8 meters to 1.78. Was that?
Islam's got a black eye.
Yeah, but does it surprise you? Look where he is. Probably the bear gave it to him. Look at the size of that guy, man. Look at the size of Islam, dude. That's not a joke. That guy just doesn't want to win. He wants to put that guy on his neck as a necklace.
No, baby.
That's crazy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at that's not just a fight.
Whoa,
he wants
intensity. Did you see that?
Jesus.
Look at that. Look, Jack Della's like
he's like, okay, I want to go at it, but Islam is like, I've already beaten
you. Look at this. They get separated.
Look at that smile. Look at the smile.
And Jack Della's still looking at him. Islam's like, what? And Jack Della's like, huh? And Dana's like, uh-oh, let me get in here. Ooh.
Jesus.
He's got a black eye there, Islam.
Dude, that just goes to show you the intensity of these guys.
Oh.
That means he led up to this fight in a training camp that was, how certain training camps the last week or whatnot, they start pulling back, making sure that the fighters are not hurt. These guys are different, dude. They're leading up to yesterday.
Let's
still
go.
training hard.
Oh, I'm so hyped for this
Scary,
fight,
man.
AJ. It's gonna be crazy. So you got Islam,
So
right?
listen, let me
Obviously.
ask you something.
You're
If
going
he
with
wins
Islam.
this,
Yeah.
if he wins this, do you think he
Yeah.
takes the title from Khabib?
As the greatest ever lightweight.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or
he'd
the
be winning
greatest
the title
pound
at
for pound.
welterweight. But yeah, I'd say he'd be. I don't think he'd be the best fighter ever, but I think he'd be one of the best ever, and yeah, maybe the best lightweight of all time. I think he's still got a lot of work to do to come close to like a George St. Pierre or a John Jones. You know, are you there?
I'm there, dude. I'm just like freaking out. I'm
John
just trying
Jones,
to think
you
of
know?
that training. John Jones.
But-
Yeah, John. Where are
Come
you,
on.
John?
How about but Islam? Okay, say he wins, right? If Islam wins, what's the move?
He retires.
No, he's got big
Yeah, bro.
fights that he's gonna have. If Islam wins, he might fight Topuria. He might drop back
Could
down
happen.
and take his belt back from Topuria.
I could see that.
Or
yeah.
he's also talking about fighting Kamaru Usman for the welterweight belt, defending the belt against Usman. I want to see him fight
Man.
Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think Shavkat and Islam would be nuts. Like, if Islam can beat Jack Della, let's see him beat Shavkat. Let's see that fight. That would be so crazy. But I
That
think
would
it
be
might be
interesting, but-
Kamaru. Honestly, I think if Islam wins, it's either Topuria at lightweight or even welterweight or Kamaru Usman for Islam. If Jack Della wins, I think it could also be Kamaru Usman. But not Topuria, because, like, no one's... And I think if Jack Della wins, Islam and Topuria is a great fight, because Islam just goes, move back to 155, fight Topuria for my old belt. Great fight. But then if he loses back-to-back fights, then the aura is, like, totally gone. And he could lose to Topuria, because Topuria is good. You know? So if Islam wins, he's got big fights with Topuria, Usman, maybe Shavkat if we're lucky, because that's the fight I want, but, you know, unlikely. If Islam loses, he still has the fight with Topuria, which is kind of win-win for Islam, you know? Like, either way, he's got a big money fight with Topuria next if he wants it, if the UFC wants to go there. If Jack Della wins, I think he's got a big fight with Kamaru Usman or a big fight against potentially like if Leon Edwards beats Carlos Prates, Leon Edwards could fight Jack Della next, you know? Like, he's got some big money fights that are out there at welterweight for him, some big names against some former champions that he hasn't fought yet. There's some good fights out there for both guys. If Jack Della loses, then, you know, who knows? Who knows? He could fight the loser of Prates Edwards. Sean Brady's fighting Michael Morales on this pay-per-view. Those are big fights
A
in the
good one.
welterweight division. Morales is 18-0. Coming off
He's a
two straight
beast, dude.
knockouts of Neil Magny and Gilbert Burns. Sean Brady, very tough. 18-1, coming off a guillotine choke win over Leon Edwards.
He's a beast, man. He
That fight's
reminds me
big.
of Sean Shirk 2.0, man.
They may throw the winner of that fight at the champion. You know?
Listen,
Like,
you know,
if Jack Della
I-
wins, I think it might be the winner of Brady Morales, possibly, or the winner of Prates Edwards.
it's gonna be tough, dude. Brady's a beast. You know,
That's a
and
good
Moraes,
fight,
if
though.
I'm not mistaken, his family, like, he comes from a really good fighting pedigree. I mean, I think he was a judo background. His parents were like judo Olympians, both his mom and dad. I mean, the guy is born to fight, and he's on a crazy winning streak, 18-0, by coming up against Sean Brady. And every time I see Sean Brady, I think of Sean Shirk. I'm like, this is Sean Shirk, like 3.0. You know, the guy is just a beast, and if he can get Moraes on his back, he can submit him, and that's what I can see happening. I think that Sean Brady is the real deal, man. He's like the All-American right now, and
Yeah,
I think he's gonna go far.
yeah. He's from Philadelphia, you know. Sure, he's going to have a lot of fans there in New York at Madison Square Garden, the mecca of sports. The world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. That's where you have big fights on a Saturday night in November. Hell yeah.
We need, man.
I love this.
Johnny,
this is
not
the
a long
biggest
one.
card of the year. This is money. This is a money card. All right. I like Jack Della. AJ likes Islam in the main event. What about the co-main event? Another champion moving up, challenging for a new belt. Zhang Weili. Remember the name. Zhang Weili. She fights Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. Zhang Weili, the 115-pound champion, moving up to 125 to fight the evil, the lovely, the wonderful, the talented Valentina Shevchenko.
An amazing dancer, too. Don't forget that.
Great dancer, speaks many languages, plays the piano, can shoot guns, can fight MMA. She's multi-talented. She's the most impressive fighter that's ever fought in the UFC, not just because of her skills, but just because of the human being that she is. She's pretty incredible. Valentina Shevchenko is one of a kind. 25 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. Coming off 2 straight victories, avenging her loss to Alexa Grasso, and then a very impressive victory over Manon Fiorot back in May. Really nice win. And now she gets Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili, 35 years old, 26-3, coming off 5 straight victories, defending that UFC strawweight championship. Amanda Lemos, Yan Xiaonan, Tatiana Suarez, who a lot of people thought was going to be the next big thing in the UFC. Zhang Weili said, whatever. No big deal. Made her look pretty amateur. And that is what impresses me about Zhang Weili. She never stops improving and seems to get better every fight, which is kind of nuts considering she's been in the UFC now since 2018. Like, she's been in the company for over 7 years, and every single time you see her, even at 35 years old, she seems to be improving, which is not something that all fighters do. Like, you see improvement with a lot of fighters, but at a certain point, they kind of peak, and then they dip. Zhang Weili, it feels like hasn't even seen her peak yet. We may see the peak on Saturday night. I like her to win. The odds right now have Zhang Weili plus 110, Valentina Shevchenko minus 140. Yeah, I think Zhang Weili's going to win a decision. She's really good. She's a monster. I think she out-wrestles Valentina. I think she puts her on her back. A lot of ground and pound. And
it's her competitive will, too, man. That's the difference to me.
She is a monster. Zhang Weili is such a beast. I think she just kind of runs through Valentina, like just kind of punishes her, you know, like a lot of brutality, a lot of just kind of raw. She's just so strong, you know. I think takedowns are going to be key, and staying on top, pressure. A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I think that's the key.
I can
that's
see
the key
that
to
too.
Valentina. Like, you don't want to give her space to do some nice kicks and stuff like that. Pressure her. I think Zhang Weili is going to put a lot of pressure on Valentina and get the win.
I mean, Valentina has all the statistical points for her to win. I mean, she has like a 168 reach to 160 for Weili. I mean, technically, you know, her jabs and keeping her distance is on the mark for her. But there's one thing that you're right about, is that Weili's going to overwhelm her, I think she's just going to control that fight. She's going to punish her. I think it's going to go to distance, but it's going to be like a solid performance for Weili.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at it over time, you can see that decline of Valentina over time. And you just see Weili getting better and better and better. And that's the thing. And she's so competitive that, it's all in. Look, there's no doubt about it. Like, Valentina has shown, like, over time, like, she's the best in the world. But this is a fight that everybody wanted to see, and we're finally going to get to see it. But I think it's at a different time for Valentina to be fighting Weili. I think Weili is just going to, like you said, is going to completely, like, overwhelm her, and I think it's going to go to a decision. And it's going to be an interesting fight, man. This is going to be a good fight. Might
Valentina
be the fight of the night.
Shevchenko, she's been the UFC flyweight champion since Zhang Weili came into the company. Valentina Shevchenko has been in the UFC since 2015. 10 years in the UFC. She beat Joanna Jędrzejczyk to win her first world championship back in 2018. She's been champion since Joanna. I mean, you remember the Joanna era when Joanna was crushing people and she was on top of that division? Valentina ended that. And that kind of surprises me because I'm like, Valentina's been champion for that long? She took the belt from Joanna?
It's incredible.
Joanna champion? Joanna champion's been out of the sport for so long. You're like, oh yeah, I remember she was champion. Who'd she lose to? I don't remember. It was Valentina, the current champion. You know how crazy that is?
But the thing is that
5, 6 title defenses. Then she lost it. Then she had a draw with Grasso. Then she won it back. Then she defended it again. 2-time champion, 7 times defending, has won so many championship fights here over 10 years in the UFC. 10 years, 37 years old, still winning. It's nuts what she's been able to do.
But the only thing is that she hasn't won by stoppage since, like, September of 2021, where Weili has won a lot more recent stoppages. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2021 was her last win by stoppage. So you can see that there's that, step back, which worries me going up against Weili right now, who's ready to, like, she wants to knock her out. She doesn't want to win by decision. You know that. But I think, with the experience and whatnot, and Valentina's will as well, it's going to be an interesting fight. I really think this might be the fight of the night. But there might be a 2-division champion, man, 2 times happening on Saturday night, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we're only going to see one.
You're right, Doug.
I think we're only going to see one of the lighter champions win, and that's Zhang Weili. I like Brady over Morales in that fight as well. Leon Edwards, Carlos Prates, interesting welterweight fight. Leon needs a bounce back here. Plus 140, Leon Edwards. Carlos Prates minus 180, the favorite. I agree with
Brady
those odds. I like Prates to win. I think Leon is kind of on his way down.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going the opposite on that. I think Edwards is just,
he got destroyed by Sean Brady in his last fight. Tapped, smoked. I don't know. I like Prates.
Man. Prates only has lost once since 2019. I mean, all is pointing to, like, Carlos Prates.
He's on a roll.
22 and 7.
He's been crushing. He's been knocking people out.
He has, but he's got a 22-7 record where Edwards has a 22-5 record. I mean, they're not that far away.
Pretty similar
in the sense, very similar, Yeah. But
Prates. Yeah.
Look, if he could fight like Ian Gary did, it could be an interesting fight for Edwards.
Benoît, that's easier said than done. Benoît Saint-Denis.
BSD, man.
Taking on Beneil Dariush. BSD coming off 2 straight victories. Dariush coming off a win after 2 straight losses. He beat Renato Moicano in his last fight by decision. Dariush, 36 years old, out of California, 23-6-1 record. Benoît Saint-Denis from France, 29 years old. And that, I think, is a big factor. 7-year age gap. That's huge for Benoît Saint-Denis. Like, 7 years is so much in MMA. 29-36 is significant. It means something. It just does. I got BSD in that fight. Benoît Saint-Denis, -190 the favorite. Beneil Dariush, +145 the dog. We got some good prelim fights, too. Rodolfo Vieira and Bo Nickal. Jiu-jitsu versus wrestling. How about that?
That's going to be interesting.
Right? That's fun.
Like that.
I think wrestling wins.
That'll be a
in that
fun one. Well, we were saying last week, that fight technically was on the main card. Then it got pushed over to bring in like a Beneil Dariush versus BSD.
Yeah,
so
cool.
they kind of got like, put backwards, which means
but
that
they're now the featured prelim. They're like the main event of the TV prelims, which is still.
But I don't think they get. I don't think they get as much money as they would have if they would have been on the main. But
same money.
Nah, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
but
I know you're not.
Yeah,
but
who are you going with that? I'm curious
to
find out.
With what?
With Bo Nickal and
Bo Nickal.
Vieira, man, one of the world's best, IBJJF.
But
fighters out there.
When I
At the
you
time,
know, wrestlers that know some jiu-jitsu are usually pretty good at stopping jiu-jitsu from happening. Like if Bo Nickal wants to keep the fight standing, I think he's going to be able to keep the fight standing. If he wants to avoid jiu-jitsu, he'll be able to avoid jiu-jitsu,
You're right.
So
right. And you know what? The problem with Vieira,
probably
he has
avoids jiu-jitsu.
Like he has no stand-up. I mean, he's not going to knock him down. I mean,
Yeah.
There's no way
I think this is going to be a terrible stand-up fight. With neither guy grappling. Usually when you see two grapplers, they just decide to punch each other and it's ugly. I think this is going to be a bad 3-round fight that Bo Nickal wins by a decision. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat. Super chat.
Doug is going to see Seinfeld, man. I saw Seinfeld, Doug. It was amazing. He was like amazing.
I've also seen
looked
Jerry
so
Seinfeld.
good.
I enjoyed it.
Did you? Were you there when I was there?
I don't know. It was
Damn.
at Place des Arts when I went.
No, I was at the Bell Center.
Yeah, no, I went to see him at Place des Arts. So different show. Aaron Blanchfield, Tracy Cortez, another good prelim. Blanchfield -270 the favorite. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pat Sabatini.
Tracy's not too bad either, man.
Pat Sabatini -135. Jose Mariscal +105. Jose Mariscal, I saw a picture of him. He had something weird on his wrist, looked like staph.
Really?
If you saw it, AJ, you would have said that's staph.
He's fucked.
Thank you, Doug.
Pat
Thanks for dropping the
Sabatini,
super
so
chat.
good.
He says, you guys are great. I feel like we're all in the same room just hanging out. Well, thanks, Doug. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Doug.
Good man.
Hopefully one day we can all be in the same room, having a beer, man, talking.
I've never met Doug. It'd be good to meet Doug and Nick.
Yeah, it'd be great. Like Ringside has to get like a little bit more up in the elite status, like like the Rogan, and then I'm gonna throw a party like there's no tomorrow, man.
Do you have any
like
idea
the Rogan.
How big Joe Rogan is?
Listen, bud, you gotta dream big, Dave. Dream big, bud.
We have
you
no
ever seen an
chance of
Anthony
being
Robbins
anywhere
seminar?
near as big as Joe Rogan. He's like the biggest. He's one of the biggest shows ever. If we become as big as Joe Rogan, I mean, I couldn't even imagine how that would happen.
It could happen, bud. Dream big, bud. I gotta give you the series of Anthony Robbins, man. We gotta dream big, bud.
But that's like, I don't know.
It could happen, bud. All we need is Joe Rogan to mention our show. That's it. We got to be on Rogan's show. That's what we got to do. You got to smoke pot with him, and you got to like talk about shit. And then I'm going to come out with the UFO theories, and I'm going to tell him like what I think and George St. Pierre and give him some insights. I'll turn it like nuts.
Maybe we could explain to him what life in Canada is actually like. Just kind of, help him out.
Well, how about like
I've heard him talk about life in Canada, and I'm like, well, that's not been my experience at all. That's funny. You must not live in Canada, Joe Rogan, which he does not.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, Dave. I met Joe Rogan. You know that, right? I met him. Nice. I yapped with Joe, and he was like super cool. I saw him at a like. I'll be honest. One of the top comedians that I've seen so many comedians, and one of the top comedians that I can say that stands out is Joe Rogan. The guy was amazing.
Super chat.
I've seen this guy, Dave. I'm telling you, hear me out on this. I saw Joe Rogan, and there was a heckler that was in the back of the show, right? And I thought the guy starts heckling Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan answers back. The heckler goes at it. Joe Rogan destroyed him like a machine gun. The guy ran out. So I'm like, shit, man, that was pretty good. So after the show, I'm like, hey, Joe, I said, I like the plant that you put. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, the guy, your setup for the show. He goes, man,
Super chat.
that guy wasn't
super
a
chat.
setup. That happens to me all the time. Every place he goes to, he gets like these dummy hecklers. But the way he destroyed the heckler, the guy ran out. And I was like, wow. And I got to tell you right off the bat, Joe Rogan is like one of the top
Why were
comedians
you
I've
talking
seen.
to Joe Rogan after the show? Like, what was going on here?
We were in a small club, man.
Oh.
Who knows? And I'm very good friend with his, his good friend, Hassan Orange.
Yeah, I
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't really find Joe Rogan
Dude, he's funny,
funny.
man. He's really good. He is. I'm telling you, he's one of the top guys. And I've seen everybody from like George Burns all the way to like freaking Seinfeld. Like so many comedians. I've seen so many. And I gotta
I've
tell you,
also
Joe
seen
Rogan's up
many
on top.
comedians, AJ. And I don't really find Joe Rogan funny, but that's
Dude, you
okay.
gotta see him live. When Joe comes, we're gonna go see him. And I'm
no,
telling you.
I know. I've seen. I think you can get an idea of what a stand-up is like by watching their TV things, their Netflix
Dude,
or
he was
whatever.
amazing, man. He was
And I
amazing, I'm
don't
telling
find
you.
him funny.
Oh,
I have
dude, he's
also
funny.
seen many stand-up performers, AJ, and I've been entertained by most of them, but not. I would not go see Joe Rogan. You know who was really
hey,
funny,
bro.
AJ?
Who?
Bill Cosby. I saw him. He was great.
Before or after he laced his lady?
Well, I mean, I think it was, probably after and possibly during the run of crimes that he was on.
During his show, he was like lacing them.
Well, not during
Ladies,
the show,
just
but
drink the
like who knows
Kool-Aid.
what he did before or after the show.
It's just
But I will
Jell-O.
tell you that his performance was memorable as one of the most entertaining comedy shows I've ever attended. Cosby was very good. I also saw Robin Williams, and he was like better.
Robin
than
was
Cosby.
that.
He was incredible.
Yeah, but
Seinfeld,
Robin
Williams, Patrice O'Neill. I've seen many greats, but yeah, Cosby was good. I'll tell you, he was good.
You think he was guilty, dude?
Funny
You think
guy.
that's true,
Yes, of course.
or was he set up?
What? Jeez.
I'm just saying.
Okay,
this is the
let's
shit
do
that we'll bring
parlays
out to
now.
Joe Rogan
Let's
if
do
we go, man.
parlays
We go to Joe.
before
We're bringing that up.
before
do the
you
parlays.
really turn this way off the rails. Gee,
Epstein-
you
oh,
think he
sorry.
was guilty? AJ, anyways.
Listen, man, you want to get on the Rogan dream
was
big?
guilty?
bud.
I don't know, man. Maybe he was set. What, dude?
The Jell-O guy?
All right.
Remember his Fat
Yeah.
Albert shows?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
You're crazy. You're nuts. Like, I can't
That's what she
even
said.
handle you.
Hey, Dave, here's my parlay. On the prelims, I pick every underdog to win.
That's right. And usually
like
they
it.
come up, but this year has been a good year for the underdogs,
Okay, I got a parlay
except for this
you.
weekend.
Oof,
Yeah,
this
let's
is
hear it.
not bad. Oof, this is not bad.
Spit it out, bud.
It's a 4-fight parlay, okay? I'm going with Benoît Saint-Denis minus 190, okay? Sean Brady minus 140, Carlos Prates minus 180, and Aaron Blanchfield minus 270. It's a 4-fight parlay plus 458.20 gets you 111.55.
Not bad. Not
How do
bad.
you like that?
I
How do
like
you
that.
like that?
4 leg, man. A
That's
4 leg
good.
parlay.
4 legs.
Not bad,
This
actually.
parlay-
For 4 legs, man.
Has 4 legs. Like
He's got 4
a
legs, man.
Table
I like that.
or a chair of some sort. What do you got for me? You have parlays? Let me take a picture of this parlay. And then once
You
I
send
do
it,
that,
Dave.
Then once I
But
do
make sure
that-
it's a nice shot, man. Don't give me like those ones that are like on an angle and it doesn't look so great. Take a
this is
nice,
just
clean
you're not
shot.
this is just for reference. You're not supposed to use this for anything.
Well, yeah, I could.
No,
It
you
makes it
can't
easier
because
for
I
it.
can't even fit all the fights in one picture. So you got to do.
Okay, so just give me the names, man. Just give me the names and the payout. That's it.
Oh shit! Well, I'm just
Um,
sending it to you in a picture, so you have the names and the payout.
Hard. It makes me so much. Yeah, it's more work for me.
It's not. It's really not confusing at all. What do you got for your parlay?
So, Bud, you know me. I'm not going to deviate from what I said earlier. I think Islam is
You're putting him
going
on
to
your
be a
parlay.
two.
So
I'm putting him
I'm
on my
doing
parlay, man.
separate bets. I just want to, for the record, I would do separate bets on Jack Della. I'm going to do straight bets on Jack Della at plus 215 and Zhang Weili at plus 110. Not putting them on my parlay does not mean I'm not confident in them winning. I'm just going to, I would do separate
You're not
bets on them.
confident.
I like to do favorites in the parlay and then underdog, just do straight bets on those. So I'm going to go straight bet on Jack Della. I think, plus 215, you bet 20 on Jack Della, you're making 63 back. It's a good, you put 100 on Jack Della, you're making 315. You're making money on Jack Della Maddalena on Saturday if he wins. Okay, AJ, your parlay, you're putting Islam in your parlay, minus 290.
Yeah, I'm putting it. Yeah, exactly. So I'm going with
Makes
Islam,
sense.
and then I'm going to go with Weili. I agree with you on the Weili.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Sean Brady.
Yeah.
That's going to be a tough one, because Michael's a beast, but I think Sean Brady is really like the future in some sense of that division.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to go with this one was a hard one between Leon Edwards and Carlos Prates, but I'm going to go with Leon Edwards. I think Leon Edwards' experience is going to be able to take Carlos Prates, and then I'm going to finish off with Benoît Saint-Denis. And no offense to Dariush. Dariush is one of my favorite fighters, but the problem is that every time he fights, like he has some conversation about retiring. We hear that all the time. He's more out than in, and that's what worries me with Dariush. A lot more gray hair on his head. He's taking this fight as a money fight, and I think it's his last fight, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but I think, it might be that, win or lose. Tell me, show me the money, bud.
Okay. Here's the AJ
What do I
parlay.
see here? AJ, thoughts on Jake Paul next fight? Ooh, yeah, Johnny.
Leon
got
Edwards
thoughts
plus
on that.
140. Benoit Saint-Denis minus 190. Sean Brady minus 140. Zhang Weili plus 110. Islam Makhachev minus 290. It's a plus 1673 parlay. 20 gets you 354.69. My God.
That's a beautiful payout,
It's a
man.
big payout on a 5-fight parlay.
And I
from
think that
AJ.
can happen, man. That's gonna come out, dude. I'm telling you.
I don't like a couple
Doug,
of these fights.
put 20
I
bucks
don't
on
like
it.
the Islam. I don't like the Leon. But hey, that's you.
Listen, it's Leon Edwards, dude.
It is.
Let's
Leon
not forget
Edwards.
who he is. Every time we say something against Leon, he obviously proves why he was on top. And if he wins, he's going to be right there in title contention again. Nespa? Yeah, Johnny. I mean,
No, I don't
that's
think
a tough
so.
one. You don't
No, I
so?
think if he wins, Sean Brady, who just beat him, would be like if Sean Brady wins and Leon Edwards wins.
Yeah,
well,
you
I
got a
think
point
Sean
there.
Brady would get a shot over Leon because Sean Brady is, just beat Leon. However,
Yeah, you got a
I
point
think
there.
Kamaru probably gets a shot because he just picked up a win and people want to see Kamaru. So that is UFC 322. We got the watch along coming up
Whoa.
on Saturday night. What?
Wait. Johnny said something.
Yes,
Read what
I
Johnny
know.
said.
He said about the Anthony Joshua. Apparently, Anthony Joshua is going to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul was going to box Gervonta Davis, who's like half his size. This was going to happen in December, but Davis pulled out of the fight. Okay? And now, apparently, Anthony Joshua is going to take the fight instead. And Anthony Joshua is like a legit top heavyweight boxer in the world. Jake Paul
Yeah,
could
that's
be in
not-
real trouble. I don't know what he's getting himself into now. This is kind of nuts. This is not Mike
this is
Tyson. This is a real guy.
This is a real guy that the problem with Jake is that usually he looks down on his opponents, including Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
A senior Mike Tyson. Here he's going to be looking up to an AJ. Look, we got to give credit to Jake Paul. He's fought and he's beat some of the greatest. But now you're coming into a point where a guy who's still active in some sense, who has the skills to be at the top of the game in the world of boxing. Listen, I got to give Jake Paul some credit. If he can actually pull this off and gets into the ring, win or lose, the guy has balls, and that says a lot. I got to give it to Jake Paul. Regardless, man, he has the cojones that most people wouldn't. But is this going to be a tough fight for him? Damn right. It's a real fight. That's with a real boxer. Not that Mike Tyson wasn't, But Mike Tyson was like, he was like a pirate with a wooden peg leg. I mean, and I didn't think that he could beat Mike Tyson, but Mike wasn't fighting. Mike was like, he's weathered, man. He took the money and he ran, but this is a different story.
Yeah, this is way different. Anthony Joshua could really do damage to Jake Paul.
He could fuck him up big time.
He's going to knock this guy out. We're going to see Jake Paul get knocked unconscious on Netflix.
Look, a 2-time champion at one point, man. Let's be honest.
Oh, don't you want to see Jake Paul unconscious on Netflix? That'd be so crazy.
I don't want to see him unconscious, but I think he could fight a good fight.
Knock him out.
But Anthony, listen, if this fight happens, but AJ can't fool around. He has to get into a training camp like he's really fighting for a championship belt. Like he's got to put into his mindset that if he loses, he's going to destroy, world-class boxers. I mean, I know it sounds weird, but, this is not a joke. And I got to give it to Jake Paul. He's been up there. He's looking good. He's looking better. He trains hard. He's out there, man. He's taking the time to really do what he does best. And right now it's boxing. So Anthony Joshua can't take this guy lightly, but he should be able to beat him if he has a real decent training camp.
He should be able to.
Yeah. But then again, Jake Paul has surprised a lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
Look at some of the knockouts he's done.
But
he's made people out of memes, man.
Yeah, but this is...
look what happened to Woodley. Woodley became like a Christmas meme.
Well,
I've never seen a human being fall down like that. Jake Paul knocked the shit out of him.
Well, if Jake Paul can beat Anthony Joshua, then he should fight for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Well, at that point, yes.
If he beats Anthony Joshua, then he becomes one of the legit top heavyweight boxing contenders. He should fight like Usyk.
Yeah.
Like,
and
legit.
Listen, he's only 28 years old, man.
People would be calling for that. People would be like, well, he's got to fight the best now.
Crazy, man. I can't believe... You know what kills me? You remember a long time ago, and I know that Angelo's there, and you guys got all mad at me. But remember what I said? We will keep hearing that name, Jake Paul, for many, many, many years. And here we are now in 2025, and he might fight Anthony Joshua. This AJ, who's not 6'1", was right. I'm just saying, you guys owe me an apology. You guys owe me an apology.
Impressed by your performance.
Yeah, Georgia, I wasn't impressed with your acting performance, but that's a different story. Don't believe me? Watch his movie.
All right. We will be back. Well, I'll be back tomorrow night with Johnny North, right? John, you're back,
Johnny!
Right? John, back? Yeah, good.
Johnny's like a world-class wrestler. He's all over the world,
everywhere.
man, this guy.
I know.
It's incredible. They make toys out of him. He has pillows. He has like hats and shirts, and I mean, this guy is like Johnny, man. He's gonna start asking for big money for being on ringside soon. I'm just saying.
Yikes. Well, then I will say goodbye to Johnny because we will not be able to afford him. I don't know.
Johnny, we got good news and bad
then.
news.
I think we're screwed then. We're just gonna not have Johnny anymore. Johnny's asking for big money. Well, sorry, Johnny. Goodbye. We will miss you.
We love having Johnny here, but unfortunately, to negotiations.
Yeah, well, if he starts demanding big money, I'll be like, well, I don't know where you think that's coming from, so no.
Johnny's a good egg, man. What's that? No, I'm not. I didn't make it as like the mayor of Montreal, but I came close, guys. Listen, if anybody wants to know,
you weren't even running for mayor of Montreal, but hey, sure.
Well, I was running for councilor for the leader of my party to be mayor.
No chance of winning anyways, so it doesn't matter.
I know, but I did the best I could, dude.
You did the best you could.
And you know what's crazy?
You tried hard.
Listen, I did, and I get stopped all the time now, being like, "Hey, you're the guy that was on the posters," and I'm like, "Yeah," but I'm also AJ from Ringside Report. By the way, ringsidereport.net. This was the best plug I've ever done. Running for like councilor.
Good promotion, yeah.
It
Good
is
promotion.
But listen, it was hard work.
You run for city council to get promotion for your MMA podcast. Smart.
Yeah, actually.
Smart move.
I brought it up in some of like my debates,
Yeah.
Actually, did you see my bio? It was in there. Did you see it?
Yeah, because then they have to give you press coverage and like you have to be speaking in front of people. So you just go, yeah, I'm going to help this city. By the way, Ringside Report Network on YouTube. Go check us out. We're the best.
No. You did it wrong, dude. I don't say it like that. I go, by the way, yes, okay, it's important to have like, the food insecurities and things like that. But most important, when you're feeling sad and everything, well, ringsidereport.net. Check it out. And then
I like that you say it's important to have food insecurities. Like, food insecurities are a good thing. It's important to have food insecurities. If that's what you were saying, AJ, I'm not surprised you lost.
ringsidereport.net. Live Thursdays and Fridays.
Yeah.
Check it out. ringsidereport.net.
I'm going to become the Prime Minister of Canada and just to promote the channel.
Well, listen, I was hoping to become
That's how
at
we
least
get
a
as
counselor.
big as Joe Rogan. That's how we do it.
Well,
we become.
dude, I could have boxed Trudeau. I legitimately I could have boxed him because I would have been in the political circle. I could have called him out.
Well,
I'd be like,
that
listen,
been a
mofo.
tough move. We become elected officials to promote the show, and that's how we become as big as Joe Rogan. We also, in our campaign, freely admit that that's why we're running. We're doing it for the promo.
You got to be honest, man. You got to be honest, dude.
Smart.
That's listen, I was honest all the way through, man. I said it as it was, and I'm a man of the community. I'm a man of the people. I'm a man to make sure that you listen to ringsidereport.net. So listen, what was your question again?
That's great. It's fantastic. Just wearing Ringside Report Network t-shirts, just like, hey.
Yeah, we need. Listen,
vote for AJ, ringsidereport.net. Vote for AJ, ringsidereport.net.
Johnny is right, because if I would have pulled it off, I would have had wrestling shows in NDG, man, at the Rendezvous, and I still could do it, Johnny. Just keep in mind, I'm going to be at every one of those meetings starting December 1st. AJ is going to be there live. Hey, that's a good one.
Are you going to start missing shows
lives
again?
No, bro. It's only on Monday nights I got to be there. So it's Monday nights. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there for the community. I'm going to be there for the city. And I'm going to be hounding them, man. You'll see. But I'll see if I can make an alliance to get like some wrestling shows, which I think is a great idea, to be honest. No, I'm serious. That's not a joke.
Speaking of wrestling shows, Johnny and I will be doing one tomorrow night. We'll be talking about wrestling, all the wrestling. A lot of stuff happened on Raw this week. AEW had their blood and guts. John Cena became Intercontinental Champion on Raw. The Kabuki Warriors became Tag Team Champions. So, they're doing stuff. They got Survivor Series gearing up. A lot of stuff happening in the WWE and in AEW wrestling. And we'll talk about that tomorrow night on Wrestling Uncensored. And then Freddie and AJ and me. We'll be back Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time when the pay-per-view starts. That's when the show will start. We'll tell you what's going on the pay-per-view and keep you company, have some fun, party, and watch the fights. UFC 322. 322 watch along.
322.
322.
322.
And 322 at Madison Square Garden. 322.
Wait, Zhang? 322.
Hello. That was more Tweety Bird. I thought. Hey, whoa, hey, I wasn't doing that accent, dude. Take it easy. Jeez, you're not allowed to do it. I have like some.
I'm out of politics now, man. I can do it.
No. At least I'm like partially Asian. I can kind of get away with it.
That's true. If most people don't know that, Dave is not joking. He's actually a percentage Vietnamese.
I mean, my grandfather was half Vietnamese, so I'm like,
That's why he's got that hair. Look at that guy's hair and his eyes.
The facial hair, kind of. That's why there's like nothing here. It's because of my grandfather. Freaking guy, or whatever. All right, UFC 322 watch along Saturday, 10 o'clock, right here on the Ringside Report Network. Thank you, Doug, for the super chat. You're the super chat leader. Appreciate you out in Kingston, Ontario, and all the members. Antoinette, I hope I didn't upset you too much. I don't know. She seemed mad. She's always mad when I mention baseball, I feel like. Just say baseball. And she's like, Dave, I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't want to upset. It's not